everybody. Welcome back to the Beautiful Mind Academy. I'm Amelia Mascioni, and in today's video, we're going to go through the B-12 on the 5th edition task list, Motivating Operations. So please continue watching, and if you have any questions, let me know. At the Beautiful Mind Academy, we do offer one-to-one and group tutoring sessions outside of the task list items as well. So we do offer language, math, science, homework assistance, and of course, our task list items for those of us who want some more in-depth one-to-one sessions. All of my information is displayed on the screen, so feel free to contact me at any time, and I look forward to helping you. Let's dive in. What is a motivating operation? So our MO refers to any event or condition that alters the effectiveness of a consequence. Our MOs can either be EO, which is our establishing operations, and this means that this increases the value of a consequence, or they can be AOs, which decrease its value. Okay, so EO simply means it increases the value of something, so it evokes behavior and makes us want it. Whereas on the opposite side, abolishing operations do the opposite, right? It decreases the value of something, so it abates behavior, means that we don't want it. When we look at MOs, we should start to look at our environment first. We want to see, is there hunger involved? Is there thirst involved? And it can also be learned. So if we're looking at social attention, we can ask, right, ourselves, does this learner, for example, was this learner deprived of attention where now they need it? So being able to look for those MOs play a really critical role in understanding and influencing behavior, which is why it's so important that we know it. So our EO, again, our establishing operation, increases the reinforcing effectiveness of a consequence and makes a particular behavior more likely to occur. So when we're looking at an EO, we are looking at more when things are, or I guess we can say deprivation. So when we are deprived of something, right, the value of it increases, which in turn changes our behavior, right? Our behavior then changes to wanting this item that we've been deprived of, right? So EO increases the value and increases behavior, we'll say, okay, for the sake of this. On the opposite end, we do have the abolishing operation, where it decreases the reinforcing effectiveness of the consequence. So in turn, our behavior is less likely to occur. So when we look at AO, it does go hand in hand with a term satiation. For those of us who are just learning about these terms, satiation simply means that we've had enough of something. The example I like to use is after a really, really big meal. We are full, our stomach is hurting at this point. The value of food has decreased, right? We no longer want this food because we've just had so much of it and we're full. And in turn, our behavior is decreasing. Our behavior is abating, which means we're not going to go for food anymore. In fact, we're going to go the opposite way. Okay, so let's look at EOs a little bit more and AOs a little bit more. We always have two things, value altering effect and behavior altering effect. When we look at EOs, right, again, the definition for an EO stays the same, right? So the value of something is increasing. So establishes water as an effective reinforcer. And the behavior altering effect is it evokes behavior so we can gain access to water. Okay, So think of EO with the E's, establishes something as effective reinforcer and evokes behavior, whereas our AO's AA, okay, is going to do the opposite. So the value of something is actually going to start abolishing, right? It's going to be not as effective, and it's the behavior is abated. A behavior maintained by access to water is going to be abated if, let's say, we've just chugged a whole water bottle, for example. Okay, so look at these terms. E goes with our E. Okay, evokes behavior because the value of something is increased. And then our A goes with our A. Our behavior is going to be abated if let's say, sorry, our behavior is going to be abated when something, the value of something is decreased. Let's look at some questions. Number 1, which type of motivating operation increases the reinforcing effectiveness of a consequence? This answer is our EO. So when we look at increases the reinforcing effectiveness, something that we want, we're looking at our EO. True or false? Establishing operations decrease the value of a consequence. And I'm really hoping that you guys said false. And if you didn't, that's okay. Let's go ahead and explain this one. So it is false. False because when we look at EOs, it actually will increase the likelihood, or sorry, it will increase the value of something, which means that our behavior is going to be evoked, right? When we look at it, the term decrease the value, that means that we no longer want it, and in turn, it abates our behavior. So in this case, establishing operations should increase the value of a consequence, which makes this question false because we're looking at decrease, okay? So for these types of questions, you're not going to get a true or false. It will be multiple choice, but I still want you guys to think about what terms go with what. And automatically when you see this, it should raise a red flag. Wait a second, EOs don't decrease. So automatically we should have said false. 3, satiation is an example of which type of MO? Alrighty, and the answer here is AO. Anytime that you see satiation, it's going to abate behavior. 4, if an individual has been deprived of water for several hours, what type of MO is in effect? So let's go and see this one. We looked at satiation and that was AO. So now we're actually looking at deprivation. So what happens when we're deprived of water for several hours? Most likely the value of water will increase and our behaviors will also increase, right? The way that we get water is going to be evoked. So in this case, question number 4, we are looking at EO. Question number 5. Which of the following scenarios best illustrates an abolishing operation? For this question, I'm going to actually leave it to you guys. I want you guys to go ahead and in the comments down below, put question 5 and tell me if you think it's A, B, C, or D. And I want an explanation. So this one can be a little bit tricky. So I want to see what you guys have to say about this question and the reasons why you chose it. So I'll keep that up for a couple more seconds. If you need more time, pause this video. Pause this video at this point. All right, next is going to be more questions. This should have been 6, 7, 8, but that's okay. A child who hasn't eaten all day is presented with their favorite snack. Does this scenario exemplify an EO or AO? Again, we're thinking about this child hasn't eaten all day. So what's going to happen to the value of the snack? What's going to happen when that snack comes out? We haven't eaten all day. Our behavior is going to be, I want this food. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to request for it. So in this case, what are we looking at? Again, I'm going to leave this up to you guys. I'm just going to kind of talk it through with you guys. I want to see what you guys answer. Okay. 2, a dog has just eaten a large meal and is less interested in playing with his toys. Does this scenario exemplify an EO or AO? Once again, comment down below. But let's see. We're looking at a dog has eaten a large meal and is less interested in playing with his favorite toy. Why do you think that this dog's behavior changed and his toy is not really of interest anymore? So think of something happened to change this behavior, but what was it, right? It was something involving him eating a large meal. So what happened here? Is it an EO or AO? Last one is 3. A student who has been studying for hours without a break is given a short recess. What does the break in this scenario exemplify? Once again, leaving it up to you guys. Comment down below and I'll be sure to comment back. Let's go ahead and talk about our CMO-R, S, and T. So when we look at these, I added some pictures at the top to really help you guys. And I really hope that, if these scenarios do pop up in the future, you remember these and it kind of helps you get through these scenarios. So when you're looking at these 3, I do want you guys to remember some key things that will actually really separate them. You're going to start to see the main differences between the 3. And then this way, when you do see a scenario, you'll be able to pinpoint which one it is. Okay, so CMO-R are reflexive. Okay, look at the top here, we have our person running. So with our CMO-R, this is going to be a condition that acquires its effectiveness as an MO by preceding a situation that is worsening. So this basically signals to us that an adversive stimuli or an adversive event is going to happen and we want to get out of there as fast as we can. And this is why our CMO-R is, escape avoidance, because we see something and we want to get out of there. And what is escape maintained behavior? That's exactly what it is, right? Something adversive that we no longer want. So think about our CMO-R as our run. Get out of this situation. Something's going to happen. We don't want it, and we want to avoid it as best as we can. Surrogate, on the other hand, is a stimulus that has acquired its effectiveness by accompanying some other MO and has come to have the same value and behavior altering effect as the MO that it was accompanied with. So think of this as a pairing process has taken place, okay? CMO-S is a pairing process. So in this case, we'll look at some examples later as well, but if the microwave beeps, the food is ready, right? It happens over and over and over again, that now the microwave's beep is that signal to us, and it was that signal before, but let's say we pair it with something else. So for example, let's say the beep on the microwave is also paired with another bell sound, right? That bell sound can also signal that the food is ready. So this is a pairing process that takes place. So let's not get mixed up with our transitive, because they are kind of similar, but Surrogate is our pairing process, whereas our CMO-T, our transitive, is this need for a second item. Okay, so I like to think of this as a car and keys. The example that I like to use is, in order to get into your car or to start your car, you're going to need your keys. So there's no pairing process that is required here. It's the fact that we need keys in order to get into our vehicle. So transitive is literally this, right? Is you need the second item for this first thing to be completed. Okay. So that's the difference between the three. So CMO-R is running from something adversive, surrogate is this pairing process, and then our transitive is needing a second item in order to access the first one. So let's see if we can kind of pick these apart and see the three differences within scenarios. Number one, every day Ryan has to pass a noisy classroom. Although he wears noise-canceling headphones, he still dislikes walking past the classroom. The next day, Ryan hears the classroom and takes the other route to get to the classroom, which took him an extra 2 minutes. Does this scenario illustrate CMO-R, S, or T? Okay. This case, in this scenario, we are illustrating a CMO-R. And I like to ask myself some questions along the way. So is there some sort of pairing that's going on? No. Is there some sort of second item that is required to complete the first item or first activity or first thing? No. Okay. Is there something that tells us something is about to get bad for me? Something that I don't like? Yeah, it is. So it's a CMO-R because Ryan doesn't like noise, right? And the classroom that he has to pass is noisy. So when he hears the noise, he automatically is like, I'm not doing this. I'm going to go the other way, even though it's going to take some extra time. Okay. So something for Ryan is adversive, which is the sound of the classroom, that loud noise. So this is a CMO-R for him. 2. A child frequently receives attention from their parent when they engage in challenging behavior, such as tantrums or whining. Over time, the child learns that engaging in challenging behavior leads to attention from their parent. One day, the child notices that their parent is busy talking on the phone and decides to engage in tantrum behavior to gain their attention. Does this scenario illustrate CMO-R, S, or T? Again, we can ask ourselves some questions. Is there some sort of threat or something adversive in this situation? No. Is there some sort of pairing, some sort of learning process that was obtained? Yeah, there was. This child learned how to get attention, and even though it was in these negative ways, they've paired. When I do these things, I do get attention. So we do have a pairing process, but we're not just going to stop there. We're still going to go through our thought process just to make sure that it is indeed that CMOS. And if there happens to be a better answer, then we can decide between the two. CMO-T, is there some sort of second item that is needed? In this case, no. So we've come to our answer, which is CMO-S. 3. Bob walks to his car and notices that he forgot his keys at his house. Bob was upset that he had to walk all the way back to get his keys. He walked all the way home with his head down. Does this illustrate CMO-R, S, or T? Does it signal something bad is going to happen? No. Is there some sort of pairing process that's happening in this situation? No. Is there something that is needed in order for something else to happen? Yes. He needs his keys in order to get into his car. He also needs his keys to drive the car. So in this case, we have a case of CMO-T. And that, friends, is the end of my slides. Thank you so much for listening all the way through and making it to the end. Like I said, please comment down below if you do have any additional questions. If you are still finding this section challenging, please let me know. You can also email or contact me and we can do a one-to-one session and really break down these differences in any of this section. Okay, thank you guys again. Have a great day. Bye.